In achieving discipline, occasions arise when the supervisor must reprimand a worker. These situations must be handled carefully. The supervisor must have all the facts to make sure that the reprimand is deserved.
Brooks, when I give an order, there's a reason for it. Your failure to obey orders...
But, Mr. Cooper...
Just a minute till I finish. Then you can talk. As I started to say, your failure to obey orders has put me in a most embarrassing position. I told you distinctly that I must have on my desk on the 2nd of each month the statistical summary of the previous month's personnel estimates. You promised it would be here. I need it right now.
I haven't been here since Tuesday, Mr. Cooper. My little girl was operated on yesterday. I telephoned Miss Terry that I couldn't be here and asked her to complete the summary for you. I've been going over it with her and making a few changes. It must be nearly ready. Here she comes with it now.
Well, back to your desks.
The supervisor who reprimands unjustly loses respect and discipline. Personal abuse and sarcasm have no place in reprimanding.
Say, what's going on here? You better wake up and tend to business. Look at this. Are you blind or can't you read? See that word pink? P-I-N-K. Naturally, you aren't supposed to use your head on this job. You aren't supposed to be able to figure out that they ran out of pink forms and wrote the word pink on a white one. So when you put a rush dispatch marked pink into the finished file box to be buried, you are doing all that could be expected of you. Take this to the communications office right away, and don't let it happen again.
Reprimand should be given in private. Humiliating an offender is bad practice.
Robert, I hear that you've decided to be boss around here. I hear that you're giving orders to the other boys in the office. When Tom told me that you were giving orders, I told him then, as I'm telling you now, that all you boys are working together. No one is to give orders here except myself. That's all. Now let's get back to work.
Another way for the supervisor to weaken his position is to scold and nag for the sake of showing authority.
About ready, Agnes?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Miss Martin, Miss Holly, who told you girls to carry those trays out of here?
Why, nobody. We thought we'd begin moving them into the new office.
Well, put them on the air conditioner. I'll tell you when to go. Let me give the orders around here. There's no place to put your trays in the other office. Put them over there.
Say, that's a joke. There's an air conditioner in the new office. We could just as well put our trays on it.
Oh, she's just trying to show that she's boss around here.
Do not use threats in reprimanding. The victim in this case is a section head working overtime to finish up a rush job. He arrives a little late next morning.
Mr. Jones, I appreciate the fact that you worked late last night, but we must all set a good example for those under us. We have set up a rule here that when an employee is late without an excuse, he will be suspended for 1 day without pay. And if it becomes habitual, he will be discharged from the service. We can't use an employee who doesn't set a good example for his subordinates. Of course, in your case, you have an excuse, but no exceptions can be made. Remember that in the future. Our rules must and will be enforced. That'll be all.
No more voluntary overtime could be expected from this employee. How should a reprimand be given? This is the case of Miss Thomas, the girl who should be at this desk.
Hartnett speaking.
This is Edna Thomas, Mr. Hartnett. I'd like to have the rest of the week off.
Annual leave for the rest of the week? Have you filed a slip? You haven't. No, I can't make an exception, especially in your case. Of course you're a good worker. One of the best when you're here. Have you seen your attendance record lately? Well, suppose you come on in and take a look at it. And then, if you still think you can make a good case for being granted leave, I'll consider it. Goodbye, Miss Thomas.
Good morning, Mr. Hartnett.
Good morning, Miss Thomas. Won't you sit down? You see, in the past 8 months, you've taken 19 days of annual leave and 21 days of sick leave. You've been late on 31 occasions, almost once a week on the average.
I didn't realize my record was so bad.
Your lateness, of course, is bad. As for the leave, you had earned it, had a right to ask for it. However, a number of girls here have more leave coming to them than you've had, but they've taken very little of it. With this office as rushed and understaffed as it is, I'm very grateful to them. But you are setting a bad example. Have you thought of it that way, Miss Thomas?
No, I haven't.
Yet I can't expect the other girls to refrain from asking for leave if you continue to set the wrong example. Because you're the most efficient worker here, the others unconsciously look to you for leadership. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, now you know it. You've achieved a sort of privileged position in the unit. But what have you done with it? You've set an example of tardiness and remaining away from work whenever the whim strikes you. The type of work you do is rush work. And when you stay away, the other girls have to do it at the expense of their regular work. I don't believe you're making good use of your leadership. Now, Miss Thomas, if you'll make out a leave slip, I'm willing to approve it.
I'm not going to request leave, Mr. Hartnett.
Very well, Miss Thomas. Will you get these out today?
Yes, Mr. Hartnett.
Did you get that view ship's letter on one page?
Yes, by single spacing the quotation. I think it looks better that way, don't you?
Yes, I do. That's fine. Thank you, Miss Thomas.
You have just seen a reprimand handled properly. Can you apply these principles in situations that confront you